Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you recalibrated yourself? Not your phone, not your computer, not your business, yourself. Because here is something fascinating. Pilots recalibrate their instruments. Engineers recalibrate precision equipment. Musicians tune their instruments before every performance. Elite athletes constantly adjust their technique. Why? Because they understand one simple truth. The more important the performance, the more necessary the recalibration. Yet, somehow, we expect ourselves to keep performing at a high level without ever checking whether our internal system is still aligned. We keep pushing, we keep producing, we keep solving problems, we keep carrying responsibilities, and we assume that because we are still functioning, we are still healthy. But functioning and being internally aligned are not the same thing. Today, I'm going to help you answer one of the most important questions you may ever ask yourself. Do I need internal coherence recalibration? By the end of this video, you will know the warning signs, understand why high capacity people often miss them, and discover why recalibration isn't a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that you are committed to sustainable performance. Let's begin. One of the greatest mistakes high performers make is believing that performance is proof of health. It isn't. In fact, high capacity people often become incredibly skilled at performing while internally deteriorating. Think about your car. Imagine driving for years without checking the wheel alignment. The engine still runs, the car still moves, you still reach your destination. But slowly, the tires wear unevenly. Fuel efficiency drops. Steering becomes more difficult. Nothing dramatic happens overnight, but the cost quietly accumulates. That's exactly how internal misalignment works. Many people don't realize they need recalibration because they judge themselves by output instead of internal condition. They say, I'm still getting things done. Yes, but at what cost? At what cost are you getting things done? If success is costing you your peace, your clarity, your emotional stability, or your relationships, your internal system is sending you a message. The question is, are you listening? Are you listening to that message being sent to you? Let me give you 5 signs. Sign 1. Decisions feel heavier than they used to. You are spending too much energy on choices that once felt straightforward. Not because you have become less intelligent, but because internal conflict has increased. Sign 2. You feel constantly busy but rarely clear. Your calendar is full. Your inbox is overflowing. You're working hard, yet clarity feels increasingly distant. Activity has replaced direction. Sign 3. You keep starting over. Keep starting over new routines, new goals, new systems, new commitments. Each one begins with excitement. Each one ends with frustration. That is often not a discipline problem. It is an alignment problem. Sign 4. Success feels less satisfying. You are accomplishing things. People actually admire your progress. They do. Yet, internally, the excitement fades quickly because external achievement cannot compensate for internal fragmentation. Sign 5. You feel emotionally tired even after rest. Physical rest helps your body. Internal coherence restores your mind. If you are resting but never feeling restored, your internal system may be asking for recalibration. Yes, your internal system may be asking for recalibration. Now, here is the interesting part. Most people experience these signs long before burnout, but they ignore them. Why? Why do they ignore them? Because they are functional. Think about Tony Stark. His brilliance often allowed him to keep producing despite carrying unresolved internal struggles. His capability delayed his crisis. Many high performers experience the same thing. Their competence becomes camouflage because they continue delivering results. Nobody, including themselves, realizes how much internal strain they are carrying. The danger is that functionality creates false confidence. You assume, if I'm still functioning, I must be okay. Not necessarily. Some people become more productive as they become more disconnected. Performance can hide fragmentation. That is why self-awareness matters a lot. You cannot recalibrate what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot recalibrate what you have refused to acknowledge. So what happens during recalibration? What exactly happens during recalibration? Many people imagine dramatic life changes. Sometimes those happen. Often they don't. Instead, recalibration begins with awareness. Within my internal coherence recalibration model, we examine 5 foundational areas: your values, your identity, your priorities, your emotions, your behaviors. Then we ask questions like, where are these working together? Where are these working together? And where are they competing against each other? Where are they competing against each other? Because internal conflict is expensive, quite expensive. Imagine an orchestra. Every musician is talented, Every instrument perfectly tuned, but half the orchestra is following one conductor while the other half follows another. The problem isn't talent. The problem is coordination. Recalibration restores coordination. It helps every part of the internal world begin moving in the same direction again. That is where peace begins. That is where peace begins. When people begin restoring internal coherence, they often expect spectacular external changes. Instead, something deeper happens first. They think more clearly. They react less. They react less impulsively. Their priorities become simpler. Decision making becomes faster. They stop needing constant motivation. Relationships improve because emotional capacity increases. Stress becomes easier to manage. Not because life becomes easier, no, because they are no longer fighting themselves every day. Think about Captain America. His greatest strength wasn't simply courage, it was congruence. His beliefs, values, decisions, and actions consistently aligned. That alignment created remarkable steadiness under pressure. That is what recalibration develops. Not perfection, but internal stability. And stability changes everything built upon it. It does. It does. Let me leave you with this. Most people wait until something breaks before making a change. They wait for burnout, a relationship crisis, a health scare, a career setback. Only then do they begin asking difficult questions. But if wisdom looks different, but what if wisdom looks different? What if wisdom is recognizing the signals before the crisis arrives? Because recalibration isn't something broken people do. It is something wise people do. Pilots recalibrate before problems appear. Athletes adjust before performance declines. Musicians tune before the concert begins. Likewise, high-capacity individuals should regularly recalibrate their internal world, not because they have failed, but because they intend to thrive. Remember this, your greatest risk isn't becoming incapable. Your greatest risk is becoming successful while gradually losing internal coherence. Don't let your ability to perform become the reason you ignore your need to recalibrate. Because sustainable success isn't built on endless effort. It is built on repeated alignment. When your values, your identity, your priorities, your emotions, and your behavior begin working together. It doesn't mean that life becomes effortless, but it becomes far less conflicted. And that may be the greatest gift you can give yourself. If today's message resonated with you, comment here below with the word recalibrate. And tell me, which of the 5 signs do you recognize most in your own life right now? If you are ready to restore emotional stability, decision clarity, and sustainable performance through the internal coherence recalibration model, subscribe to the channel. Because the strongest people aren't the ones who never drift. They are the ones who know when it is time to recalibrate and have the courage to do it.